Frank Ralph Nitto, born Francesco Raffaele Nitto, Italian, Fran, modifier letter vertical line T, Latin small letter S, Echo Raffa, modifier letter vertical line, Latin small letter open A, modifier letter triangular colon lay, modifier letter vertical line Nitto, January 27, 1886, March 19, 1943, known as Frank Nitti, was an Italian-American gangster in Chicago. One of Al Capone's top henchmen, Nitti was in charge of all money flowing through the operation. Nitti later succeeded Capone as boss of the Chicago outfit. Early life and prohibition. Nitti was born Francesco Raffaele Nitto on January 27, 1886, in the small town of Angri, province of Salerno, Campania, Italy. He was the second child of Luigi and Rosina Fezza Nitto and a first cousin of Al Capone. His father died in 1888, when Frank was 2 years old, and within a year his mother married Francesco Dall'Indo. Although 2 children were born to the couple, neither survived, leaving Francesco and his older sister, Gaia Vanina, the only children. Francesco Dall'Indo emigrated to the United States in July 1890, and the rest of the family followed in June 1893 when Nitti was 7. The family settled at 113 Navy Street, Brooklyn, New York City. Little Francesco attended public school and worked odd jobs after school to support the family. His 15-year-old sister married a 24-year-old man, and his mother gave birth to his half-brother Raphael in 1894, and another child, Gennaro, in 1896. He quit school after the 7th grade, and worked as a pinsetter, factory worker, and barber. Al Capone's family lived nearby, and Nitti was friends with Capone's older brothers and their criminal gang, the Navy Street Boys. A worsening relationship with Dall'Indo urged him to leave home when Nitti was 14, in 1900, to work in various local factories. Around 1910, at the age of 24, he left Brooklyn. The next several years of his life are poorly documented, and little can be ascertained. He may have worked in the Williamsburg neighborhood of Brooklyn around 1911. He probably moved to Chicago around 1913, working as a barber and making the acquaintance of gangsters Alex Louis Greenberg and Dion O'Banion. He married Chicagoan Rosa Rose Levitt in Dallas, Texas, on October 18, 1917. The couple's movements after their marriage remain uncertain. He is known to have become a partner in the Galveston crime syndicate run by Johnny Jack Nouns. He is reported to have stolen a large sum of money from Nouns and fellow mobster Dutch Voigt, after which Nitti fled to Chicago. By 1918, Nitti had settled there at 914 South Halstead Street. Nitti quickly renewed his contacts with Greenberg and O'Banion, becoming a jewel thief, liquor smuggler, and fence. Through his liquor smuggling activities, Nitti came to the attention of Chicago crime boss John, Papa Johnny Torrio and Torrio's newly arrived soldier, Al Capone. Under Torrio's successor Al Capone, Nitti's reputation soared. Nitti ran Capone's liquor smuggling and distribution operation, importing whiskey from Canada and selling it through a network of speakeasies around Chicago. Nitti was one of Capone's top lieutenants, trusted for his leadership skills and business acumen. Because Nitti's ancestry was from the same town as Capone's, he was able to help Capone penetrate the Sicilian and Camorra underworld in a way Capone alone never could. Capone thought so highly of Nitti that when he went to prison in 1929, he named Nitti as a member of a triumvirate that ran the mob in his place. Nitti was head of operations, with Jake Greasy Thumb Guzik as head of administration and Tony Joe Batters Accardo as head of enforcement. Despite his nickname, the Enforcer, Nitti used Mafia soldiers and others to commit violence rather than do it himself. In earlier days, Nitti had been one of Capone's trusted personal bodyguards, but as he rose in the organization, Nitti's business instinct dictated that he must personally avoid the dirty work, for which hitmen were paid. Frank and Rose Levitt divorced in 1928, and shortly thereafter he married Anna Ranga, daughter of a mob doctor and former neighbor of the Nittis. In the 1920s, the couple adopted a son, Joseph, through the Tennessee Children's Home Society. The outfit under Nitti in 1931, both Nitti and Capone were convicted of tax evasion and sent to prison. However, Nitti received an 18-month sentence served at United States Penitentiary, Leavenworth, while Capone was sent away for 11 years. When Nitti was released on March 25, 1932, he took his place as the new boss of the Capone gang. While some revisionist historians claim that Nitti was a mere front boss while Paul, the waiter, Rica was the actual boss of the Chicago outfit, both contemporary and modern accounts confirm that Capone's successor was indeed Nitti. According to Nitti biographer Marza Gijan, Nitti's age, brilliance, and reputation in the underworld made him Capone's personal choice for successor, rather than younger, less experienced mobsters such as Rica or Murray Humphreys. In actuality, Rica was merely the acting boss of the Chicago outfit for a 6-month period between Capone's October 1931 imprisonment and Nitti's March 1932 release. With the recently released Nitti paranoid about violating his federal parole, Rica was acting in the capacity of emissary that same month when he was arrested with Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, and other mobsters by Chicago police and prominently photographed. This picture would cause some to incorrectly infer that Rica was the new boss of the Chicago mob. With Nitti calling the shots, the Chicago outfit branched out from prostitution and gambling into other areas, including control of labor unions, which led to the extortion of many businesses. On December 19, 1932, a team of Chicago police, headed by Detective Sergeants Harry Lang and Harry Miller, raided Nitti's office in room 554 at 221 North LaSalle Street in Chicago. Lang shot Nitti 3 times in the back and neck. He then shot himself, a minor flesh wound, to make the shooting look like self-defense, claiming that Nitti had shot him first. Court testimony later insisted that the murder attempt was personally ordered by newly elected Chicago Mayor Anton Cermak, who supposedly wanted to eliminate the Chicago outfit in favor of gangsters who answered to him. Nitti survived the shooting and in February 1933 was acquitted of attempted murder. During that same trial, Miller testified that Lang received $15,000 to kill Nitti. Another uniformed officer who was present at the shooting testified that Nitti was shot while unarmed. Harry Lang and Harry Miller were both fired from the police force and each fined $100 for simple assault. 2 months later, Cermak was shot and killed by Giuseppe Zangaro, a Calabrian immigrant. At the time, Cermak was talking to President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt. Most historians believe, corroborated by Zangaro's own comments and the note left behind at his room, that he intended to kill Roosevelt but missed and hit Cermak instead. Anna Nitto died on November 19, 1940, in Mercy Hospital, Chicago, from an unspecified internal ailment. Nitti married Annette Tony Caravella on May 14, 1942. She was widowed almost a year later when he committed suicide. Death in 1943. Many top members of the Chicago outfit were indicted for extorting the Hollywood film industry. Among those prosecuted were Nitti, Phil D'Andrea, Louis Little New York Campagna, Nick Sergella, Charles Cherry Nose Guiu, Ralph Pierce, Rica, and John Handsome Johnny Ross Alley. The outfit was accused of trying to extort money from some of the largest movie studios, including Columbia Pictures, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Paramount Pictures, RKO Pictures, and 20th Century Fox. The studios had cooperated with the outfit to avoid union trouble, unrest itself stirred up by the mob. At a meeting of outfit leaders at Nitti's home, Rica blamed Nitti for the indictments. Rica said that since this had been Nitti's scheme and that of the FBI informant, Willie Byoff, one of Nitti's trusted associates, Nitti should go to prison. A severe claustrophobe as a result of his first prison term, Nitti dreaded the idea of another prison confinement. It was also rumored that he was suffering from terminal cancer at this time. For these or possibly other reasons, he ultimately decided to take his own life. The day before his scheduled grand jury appearance, Nitti had breakfast with his wife in their home at 712 Selborne Road in Riverside, Illinois. When his wife left for church, Nitti told her he planned to take a walk, then began to drink heavily. He then loaded a .32 caliber revolver, put it in his coat pocket, and walked 5 blocks to a local railroad yard. Conductor William F. Seabauer and switchman L.M. Barnett and E.H. Moran were riding in the caboose, backing their train slowly southward over an ungated Cermak road. The workers spotted an oblivious Nitti walking on the track away from them and shouted a warning. Nitti walked off the tracks, staggering towards the fence. 2 shots rang out. The workers thought Nitti was shooting at them, then realized he was trying to shoot himself in the head. The first shot fired by Nitti's unsteady hand missed and passed through his fedora. The second bullet slammed into the right side of his jaw and exited through the top of his head, taking a lock of his hair with it and leaving the tuft protruding from the hole in the crown of the fedora. The final, fatal bullet entered behind Nitti's right ear and lodged in the top of his skull. Police Chief Alan Rose of North Riverside, rushing to the scene with a sergeant and several beat patrolmen, recognized Nitti immediately. An autopsy by William McNally, coroner's toxicologist, showed that Nitti's blood alcohol level was .23. A coroner's jury ruled the following day that Nitti committed suicide while temporarily insane and in a despondent frame of mind. Frank Nitti died on March 19, 1943, at the age of 57. Nitti is buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery in Hillside, Illinois. Controversy has persisted regarding the interment of a suicide in a Catholic cemetery. Nitti's grave can be found to the left of the main Roosevelt Road entrance, about 50 feet, 15 meters from the gate. To the right of the gate is the family plot containing the grave of Al Capone, marked by a 6-foot, 180 centimeters white monument stone. Straight up from the gate are the graves of Dino Banion and Timmy Weiss, both North Side gang members who were killed by the Chicago outfit under Capone. In popular culture media, Nitti is portrayed by Bruce Gordon in many episodes of the original ABC television series The Untouchables, based on Eliot Ness' memoirs, which ran from 1959 to 1963. He is portrayed by Harold J. Stone in the 1967 Roger Corman film The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. In the 1972 film The Godfather, the montage of crime scene photos of the war between the 5 families includes the photo of Frank Nitti found dead. He is portrayed by Sylvester Stallone in the 1975 film Capone. Nitti starts off as a bodyguard, assassin, and advisor under Capone, Ben Gazzara, before secretly betraying him and selling the IRS files that led to Capone's arrest for tax evasion. As the new head of the Chicago outfit, he is last seen visiting the dying Capone at his Palm Island estate in 1946, a year before Capone's death and 3 years after Nitti's actual suicide. He is portrayed by Billy Drago, playing a fictionalized version of Nitti in the 1987 film The Untouchables. In the film, Nitti dies after being thrown off a Chicago courthouse roof by Ness, Kevin Costner, during Al Capone's tax evasion trial in the early 1930s, well before his suicide in 1943. In the 1983 film Easy Money, the Frank Nitti is the name of a kind of pizza ordered to Rodney Dangerfield's character's house. He is portrayed by Anthony LaPaglia in the 1988 biopic Nitti, The Enforcer. He is portrayed by Paul Regina in the 1993 TV show The Untouchables. He is portrayed by Stanley Tucci in the 2002 film Road to Perdition. He is portrayed by Bill Camp in the 2009 film Public Enemies. He is portrayed by Will Sasso in the 2013 Comedy Central series Drunk History. Sports ice hockey goaltender Antero Niittymaki has used an image of Nitti on his helmet due to the similarity of their names. Notes. References. Further reading Binder, John J. 2003. The Chicago Outfit. Arcadia Publishing. ISBN 0-7385-2326-7. Humble, Ronald D. 2007. Frank Nitti. The True Story of Chicago's Notorious Enforcer. Barricade Books. ISBN 9781569803424. Effigen, Mars, 2006. After Capone. The Life and World of Chicago Mob Boss Frank, the Enforcer Nitti. Cumberland House Publishing. ISBN 978-15818245544. Retrieved March 19, 2020. External links, Frank Nitti. My Al Capone Museum. Retrieved March 19, 2020. May Allen. The First Shooting of Frank Nitti. Crime Magazine. Retrieved March 19, 2020. Frank Nitti. Seize the Night. Retrieved March 19, 2020. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Freedom of Information Act. Frank Nitti. Frank the Enforcer Nitti. Organized crime figure. Find a grave. January 1, 2001. Retrieved March 19, 2020. Frank Nitti Archives.